Well, I'm doing this tonight. Trying to do this by myself, kind of. So we're going to see how this works out. Welcome in, guys. This is the third episode of the Slow Motion SUDI podcast, number 3. You know what number 3 means. It can only mean one thing. Guys, what is synonymous with the number 3?
Everybody.
I honestly didn't even put 2 and 2 together until I see a Budweiser. Go ahead and hold it up.
Yes.
That was the biggest clue.
Yes, right
Doing
there.
it for Dale.
We are doing this for Dale, guys. So we're in here tonight without Eric Lightsky, unfortunately. Eric, we miss you. Get back in here soon, whenever you can. We're gonna send it anyway. So what we're gonna talk about first, there are 2 things that are out in Formula One, Jesse, at the end of 2025. Well, and one thing at the end of 2024, I guess. Esteban Ocon and DRS. So I don't know what you want to talk about first. We've got Active Aero coming in. They keep blowing it up. They keep talking about it. It sounds like this is actually going to be a thing. I'm surprised because normally when it comes to Formula One, they always push those regulations out a couple years. They say it's going to happen, but F1 is clamping down. They're saying yes, 2026, Active Aero in, DRS out. What do you think about that? Do you think it's going to happen? I've heard about some of the tests they've done. It's not looking too promising right now.
I think they've also got an electric boost, like a push to pass.
Yes.
As well, it's going to be part of that. So, man, it's so many gimmicks, right? I feel like they're making it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. I mean, a lot of people. You get polarizing opinions on DRS, right? Just as it is today. People want it, people don't want it. You know, it's been around for a while now, so we've seen how we've lived with it. This next evolution, I don't know. I'm not on the bandwagon with it. I've heard 2 teams have actively kind of opposed it, and you need to get all 10 teams have to sign on for the regulations. So if you got 20%, 2 teams that are not okay with it, does this just end up getting stuck in the mud for a long time and until it's too late to implement it for the next gen?
Right.
Me personally, in my personal opinion, I don't want it. I don't want Active Aero. Push to pass is actually kind of interesting though, because I do like how it works in IndyCar. So I wish F1 had push to pass instead of DRS too. I don't know. It feels like a little bit more strategic value to it, right? Use it when you want, but you only get a certain amount. In F1, you can get stuck behind that guy and have DRS every lap, and use DRS every lap.
Yep.
And him never use you just keep using it infinitely. I like the way IndyCar is structured a little bit better. So, but if it happens, it happens. They're pushing for it. So, if it gets through, then what? Now we're into this very aerodynamic, kind of gimmicky era of F1. The cars will be smaller, which will be a little bit interesting, but they're not that much smaller.
Yeah, you got to throw some
few hundred millimeters.
I saw the stat on it.
There's no banana for scale on those photos that I've been seeing going around. Yeah.
I saw the stats on it, and it's the length of the wheelbase is 2,200 millimeters, I believe, and the length of the wheelbases back in 1970, I think, were 1,600 or 1,400.
Yeah, the cars have just gotten longer and longer each year. So
yeah.
It's not like we're going back to 1999 regulations. We are taking a minor step, but a step in the right direction, in my personal opinion. It keeps trending that way. But yeah, I guess I don't really have a formed opinion on this Active Aero thing yet. There's been a lot of negativity around it. That's typically not good for something like a regulation like this. So we'll see how it all pans out. It feels like it's right around the corner though. I feel like they're going to make a decision. It's got to be soon.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I totally agree with everything you said, and I was going to try to argue with you because we really don't agree on much, Jesse. But I finally agreed with every point you've said So, Jay Hall, I'm going to take the question to you. What do you think about Active Aero? And if you were to make the racing better in Formula One, what would you do?
Yeah, that's that's a much discussed topic. I mean, what are they trying to achieve with it? I guess is the core of it. Closer racing, more competitive racing. And sometimes like at the core of it, as someone who is a sim racer, not a real racer, I still like to see just like close battles. And it's tough to regulate that no matter what. And like the core racer in me wants to just see same platform across the board, none of this complexity, extra fucking nuance. But it does add another element of strategy to it, which is another dynamic for people to watch, another dynamic for the engineers to calculate. It's if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, it's a gimmick. So that's kind of the fine line I think they have to balance there. And we'll see if they're actually putting in the time. Like you said, it's taken years and years, but if they're actually making it a solid effort to where it's going to contribute to close racing, I'm all for it. If it's all just for a gimmick, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we can get gimmicky here. I mean, some of the racing series that are popular in the U.S. I mean, you mentioned push to pass, Jesse. How much gimmick is that, or stage racing in NASCAR? Like, how gimmicky do you want to get to where it makes the racing better? Like,
it's no vote to pass.
Well, and yeah, now we're talking about Formula E. I mean, that I think that even for me, that goes over the top.
Oh, that was the craziest shit I've ever heard.
I can't bring myself to watch Formula E. I've tried. I've tried to be like, hey, you know what? I can give this. I got to give this a chance. But man, it's just, I don't know. I can't really get into it.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, well, I mean,
it's like what we discussed last week. It just doesn't have the guts to it.
No.
It doesn't have that visceral nature. It's just
No, I'm not. I mean, we got pretty intoxicated last week by the time we started talking about that stuff. So there are a lot of things that are said that I'm not intoxicated.
That's when the truth
enough,
comes out, man.
Yeah, to say yet. But we've got Mike asking if we can turn Jesse up. Here's the problem, Mike. We cannot really, due to the.
He can say it with his chest, though.
Yeah, say it with your chest.
He can say it with his chest.
There we go. There we go. But yeah, the problem is if I turn Jesse up, I turn Justin up, and then Justin's too loud, and it's a mess. So we'll get this figured out. I promise you. One of these days, we'll get Jesse's mic level. But on that note, guys, Jesse's got a camera. To the people that are watching this on stream right now, look at the camera. Look at that beautiful face of Jesse. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah,
I know. It's
gimmicks.
So distracting, yeah.
Right? I know.
What were we even talking about?
We were talking about gimmicks. So, I mean, when was the last time Formula One wasn't gimmicky? Let's say before DRS era, probably before the hybrid engine era, honestly. So when was that? Like 2020? When did they come out with that? 2012 or 2014?
DRS?
Well,
DRS was was previous hybrid cars. But I wouldn't say it was like, oh gosh, I should know this, like 10 or 11.
Yeah, well, and then you've got, like you said, ERS as well, which came out before DRS. I mean, has Formula One ever had when it was just engine power? I mean, drivers and engines. When was the last year for that?
Until KERS was an optional thing for a few years. Not every team had it, so it wasn't mandatory, right? It wasn't like in the regulations. Like, you could have it; it was allowed, but not every team used it. So there were some like pure ICE power teams like into 2010s, but the front runners had already made that. Ferrari had it, other teams had it. So
right.
I mean, you'd have to go back to probably like mid to late 2000s.
Yeah.
We first started seeing KERS and the implementation of that.
Yeah.
And that was a wild time, right? That was like coming off the downslide of Ferrari dominance, and Alonso was doing his thing as a young man, and your boy Hamilton was up in there as a rookie. So, it's actually, I was thinking about, it's kind of interesting, like, the cars are going to get a little bit smaller, right? Like, what if they would have taken a big step to smaller, and they would have got back to, like, those mid 2000 size of cars? Like, would the young drivers drive as well, say like a Lewis or a Fernando, who kind of grew up in those cars. Like, I don't know. I think it'd be pretty wild to see them
Hmm.
all compete in the smaller cars and see who's who.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's funny. I mean, there are GOAT arguments no matter what sport you watch. Who's the greatest of all time? I mean, the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant debate, or the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. It's Peyton Manning. Things like
Naturally, right?
things like
biggest
that.
forehead competition. Is that what it was, or were we talking football?
I
I'm in the
forgot.
running.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Jesse Olsen's in the running there. But then we've got in NASCAR, which we're going to get to later, Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson. All of these drivers are just you can't ever put them all in the same car, so you really can't compare them. But I
Yeah.
wish
You could. There was a time. There was a time. There was such a series.
real. Oh, what's the race? No, not even the Race of Champions does that.
Well, you had like the U.S. style. You had like IROC over here back.
True. Back in the
Yeah.
day. Yep.
They
All
had some
right.
cool cars they used to run for IROC, but we'll save that for later, I guess.
Yeah,
I could
absolutely,
talk
we
NASCAR
will.
stuff.
But so basically, we haven't decided or tried to fix or fixed F1 at all. So we're gonna move on to the next topic instead because you guys aren't helping anything. So, did you guys watch the Monaco race? Jay Hall, did you watch it?
I did not. No.
Okay, fair enough.
Missed it this weekend.
All right, so Jesse, Esteban Ocon made one of the more boneheaded moves I think I've seen this year into Rivage, I think was the name of that corner, and just lap one, man, inside of his teammate. There was nowhere Esteban was going. Obviously, collected Gasly. Gasly kept going, but Ocon's out of the race. Alpine team principal had some interesting words on social media, which was dumb, I think, in my opinion. I don't know why he's going out and blasting him like that. But at the same time, about a week later, Esteban Ocon says he's not racing for Alpine at the end of the season. That opens up a seat for Alpine, first of all, which we can talk about. And second of all, do you think any other team wants Esteban Ocon after all of... He might be a good driver, but his teammate wars that he's had for the last 6 years? Like, what do you do with a driver like that? I mean, when does skill begin to not outweigh temperament on track against your teammates?
Yeah, it's you know what? If I did watch the start of the race, I kind of just jumped to the end.
Yeah, for sure.
After like 12 laps, I figured out what was like. I'm like, this is probably going to end exactly like it looks right now. Like I'm not going to stick around for 70 laps.
Right.
But the Ocon incident, I mean, I was listening to like another YouTube podcast on it, and one guy went back and looked at all the incidents he had with his teammates, right? Like the incidents he had with Perez, the incidents he had with like Alonso, and for all the ones that he had, he's like, I can only really find two that are really his fault. So, and he kind of went through them, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of agree to an extent, but the guy just has a knack for getting in the way of his teammate. Like,
Yeah. Sometimes
shape,
where
or
there's
form.
smoke, there's fire.
Yeah,
If
so
it
it's
happens
like,
enough times.
like how can you not factor that in? So I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna have a seat next year. I think he could be a reserve test driver still in the sport, but I think as far as like having a seat, he's done. Unless there was like some some crazy late contract thing and somebody needs to bring him up, but I don't really see him going anywhere. None of the top teams are gonna want to take him. And then what's available in the midfield? I mean, there's nowhere for him to go really. And I think the only place you could put him is somewhere where he would be the number one driver. And is he good enough to be a number one driver even?
He hasn't. I mean, he hasn't really gotten the chance. But I mean, we can say that about a lot of drivers that haven't gotten the chance.
But he hasn't beaten his. I think that on him is like in 6 or 7 years, he's only beaten his teammate once in points.
Right. Yeah.
So he doesn't even have the track record to be a number one. Like, if you've been racing 7 years and 6 of the years you beat your teammate, then maybe there's an argument.
Mhm.
But 6 out of 7 years you lost to your teammate. What's that say?
That's true. That's true. J Hall, do you have anything to say about Esteban Ocon? Do you even know who that guy is?
No,
Okay.
Bestie.
not more than the name. No, not more than the name. Like I haven't followed anything enough to have a formulated opinion on it.
Fair enough. Well, we can talk about something else here while we're on the topic of drivers. Sergio Perez has officially signed another 2 years for Red Bull. In my personal opinion, I think that may have just sealed Sergio Perez's fate. I'm surprised that Sergio didn't go searching for other options, other opportunities. The grid's starting to mix around a little bit.
Where would you rather have seen him land?
Anywhere other than Red Bull, because he's going to be stuck as that second driver, honestly, unless Max leaves, which at this point, we're starting to get to a point where if he hasn't left yet, he's not going to.
Possibility.
Sort of yeah, it still is, but I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, anywhere. I mean, there's a Mercedes seat that is still open. Why don't you put him in Mercedes? I mean, you've still got McLaren.
We all know who's going in that seat.
I know, but it's
not official yet.
Yeah.
Why
right, but like, okay, well then I would say that leaves the Ferrari seat open, but I forgot. Fucking my driver's going over there. So yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I guess you're right. I don't think he did have anywhere to go. Maybe you're right. Maybe he did talk with Mercedes, and Mercedes was like, we can't tell you this, but Carlos is coming. You know what I mean? Or something like that. But I don't, I don't know. I just feel like there are other opportunities for Sergio to kind of showcase his talents a little more because he is just eating Max Verstappen's dust right now, and it's a shame to see because I know that driver's got
isn't, though?
Talent. Well, fair enough.
Well, did you guys see quali today?
We did. We're gonna get on that here.
I think I saw the highlights. What was there? A Mercedes was on podium for qualifying, wasn't it?
I just got home
George
from
Russell?
work. I just got home from work, so I did not have time to get my shirt on because we had to get this going. But there should be a Mercedes shirt right here. George Russell and Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I just saw the headline.
Yeah, they tied. But is it because George set his lap first? He's on the pole position.
That's
so,
right.
to the thousandths of a second.
And it was 12 flat. It was kind of a weird number, right? It was a 112 flat.
And I think I read a stat. That is only the third time in F1 history that drivers have tied for pole position. That will make the third time. So it's pretty, considering how long that these guys have been racing, is pretty interesting. But with that being said, let's do a bit of a prediction before we go to our first break. What do you think is going to happen? I think I know. I don't think that Mercedes is going to hold up front. I think he got a hell of a tow, but I really, if you've got one Mercedes qualifying in first and one's starting in seventh, I don't see that Mercedes taking it. And where the hell did Ferrari go?
Yeah. The basement.
Yeah, they did. So let's get a bit of a prediction going here, Jesse. Give me can't tell you give me pole position because they already qualified. Give me 1, 2, 3 tomorrow.
Man, Max. He's gonna find a way around George.
Mm-hmm.
Either down the backstretch or they're gonna undercut, or the Red Bull hasn't been a great qualifier, but it's been great on race pace. So I kind of got to go with Max. I think George can keep a podium. I just don't know if he can stay in front of the McLaren.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give him some credit and say George put the P2, and I'll put Norris P3.
You're putting around Canada. You think that Mercedes has enough straight line speed down that backstretch to stay in front of those McLarens?
I mean, yes and no, but the rest of the lap is kind of crap. So
yeah,
you give yourself 6/10. That back straight, it's probably enough.
Right.
Because obviously that chicane at the end's super awkward. So that's really the only place to do it here. I mean, yeah, you're vulnerable, but you're only vulnerable for one point on the lap.
Right.
Really. So can you cover it off? I think they can. It's just I think we'll see who keeps the tires on the car the longest.
Did you see what they've done to the runoff there? Turn 6, I believe. It used to be all asphalt. Going out there, they had to used to like take cones to get back on the track that nobody did. Lots of slow down penalties. They turned that into grass because that. I mean, I think that could be another passing opportunity as well. One of the, I think it's a second of the S's. The right left.
I mean, everything's a chicane here, but one turn.
Yeah, that fair enough. I don't know, but they did turn one of the runoffs from concrete to grass, so that might be a little bit interesting. So we'll see. But anyways, Justin, 1, 2, 3.
Verstappen won. He just can't be stopped. It doesn't matter. Like if he's anywhere near the front,
Inevitable.
He is an inevitability. Number 2, I'm gonna say Lando is gonna pull up into number 2. I think Russell's gonna crack. I'm gonna make a controversial call for the podium. I think Ricardo is gonna come out and snake his way up and run a race and snipe it.
What?
To get his way on the podium. I think Ricardo for the edging out the podium, third place.
I support this bold statement.
I mean,
yep.
If this
You heard it here first.
If this actually happens, we're gonna clip this, and this is gonna be an insane change of events. And Daniel Ricciardo will probably find you, get your number, and say, "Thank you, buddy. Please shout me out on every podcast you do." I don't see Daniel Ricciardo even making the top 10. That dude hasn't done shit all year.
What?
Okay.
What?
I mean,
I'll tell you, it won't be. It won't be Sergio Perez.
It will not be Sergio. But okay, because you were controversial. Let me get controversial.
Okay.
Max Verstappen, George Russell come together. Turn 1. Collects Lando Norris. Okay.
No.
Lando Norris has wing damage. Lewis Hamilton finds himself up to
very specific.
Here it is.
Lewis Hamilton finds himself up to P4 on the restart.
Email H.
Oscar Piastri has tire damage from all of the carnage going on that's in front of him. All those guys have to pit. Lewis Hamilton comes out of the safety car, P1. He holds it on for the rest of the time. Lewis Hamilton wins his first race in 2 years. That's what I'm calling for the winner. Second place is going to be Oscar Piastri. Third, Lando Norris crashed, didn't he? Third will be
Daniel Ricciardo.
I'm taking Daniel Ricciardo for third place. Yes, there we go, Jesse.
Yes.
All right, so we
manifest it.
So here we go. We'll have to go back and listen to this podcast to see who got closer. And I have a feeling it's not going to be you or me, Justin. But
Ricciardo's probably going to get crashed turn 1, lap 1, and be flat.
Yeah, he'll probably get involved in the Max Verstappen George Russell incident on turn 1, lap 1. We'll see.
I love Danny Rick, but man,
he's horrible. He's horrible this year. I don't know.
It's like I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
And Sergio was just opening the door, like, "Hey, come on in and have my seat." Danny Rick's like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, I don't
good
know.
Back here.
It's just crazy to me again that Red Bull. I mean, it's still pretty early in the season for them to sign Sergio Perez as well. So they clearly, and it's wild to me. And I knew this was going to happen, and I'm a little bit upset about it. But at the same time, Yuki Tsunoda's not going anywhere, dude. That guy's going to be stuck in that freaking.
He should have Checo's contract.
Yeah, he should, but he's not going to.
I think he should.
Right, but he won't, and I don't know why. I think he's a little bit hot-headed. That doesn't help his case much, but
he has been. He's done better this year.
Well, Bahrain.
But I mean, it's your adrenaline's at like beyond max of what even us could experience in a race car. And you think he's not going to yell and scream? I'm on push to talk for a reason.
Yeah, I know. That's fair enough. You got me there, Jesse. All right, J Hall, any closing thoughts on F1 before we take our first break?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, when we come back from our first break, we're not going to be talking Ford versus Ferrari. We're going to be talking Ford versus Chevy and iRacing. We'll be back at the other side of this break. All right, so we're back from the break here, and on the it's kind of funny on the first side of the break, we were kind of, or in the middle of the break, I should say, we were talking about a little bit Chevy versus Ford. Jay Hall, what happened last night when you took out that newfangled shiny Mustang and I took out my brand new painted Corvette around Watkins Glen? What happened?
I mean, things happened.
Yeah, what exactly, Jay Hall?
There was some good racing going on.
Okay.
I may have lost it in the end.
How many?
I'm man enough to admit when I lose, I beat myself. I lost it. Center, spunner.
Yeah, how many
Mustang.
times?
You know what did it is I was like driving fine. We were driving for like an hour, but 50 minutes into it, I go into my graphic settings and I see the stands, the event stands. You can up them, the quality factor. So I did, and then the Mustang, it saw that. It saw the additional people, and there was nothing I could do. It just fucking immediately. It's instinctual. It wasn't me. There's no way it was my fault. It was the Mustang.
We'll come back to our little. I think we dug five times out of the pits, and you got me on almost every dig, but you found a way to fuck it up.
No, you were getting me on the digs initially because the Corvette with the motor behind you was just eating off the line. It wasn't until the Mustangs. One thing I'll give it credit for is the traction control system isn't as intrusive as like when you drive the M4 and stuff like that.
Right.
The factory setting for the Mustang does seem to be, it lets you get just a little bit rowdy, which is nice.
We've got Eric Lightsky in the chat, by the way. Eric, big old red heart there. Thanks for tuning in and watching me mess up the beautiful broadcast that you had put together for SUDI and SMB, but hopefully we get you back here soon and you can unmess up everything that I've messed up on this one. But anyways, back to the.
Is he in the chat? I wonder if he's seen the Easter egg yet.
He's calling me beautiful, and apparently there is. Oh my goodness, I now see the Easter egg in the back there. And this is how we get off topic, by the way. Anybody watching this live can see on his big screen me trying to cook a very nice meal back in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, and I was wearing exactly that. My hair probably looked like that. And yes, guys, I am that beautiful. I really am. But anyways, God damn it, Justin. Anyways, back to the topic at hand here. We've got two cars that I think are going to, for the foreseeable future in iRacing, probably dominate. Eric just said my zipper is weak. But that are probably going to dominate the iRacing scene here in the GT3s. I got the Corvette. And
novelty, if nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, that car. I mean, Jesse, for me, I know you have the Corvette as well. That car for me just feels rock solid, man. Just the handling.
Are you guys sticking with that in the GT3 leagues or any further GT3 developments?
Yes, I am.
Some dog fighting going on in the background there. Wow.
I haven't heard a word Adam said, but watching his dogs tussle.
Yeah, don't mind Badger and Lewis back there.
I got $5 on Badger. I got $5 on Badger right now.
That's a five.
Who wants that action?
Oh
you got 5 on Lewis?
I have 5 on Lewis.
All right, let's go. Badger. Oh, Badger. Oh.
Badger coming from the top
Badger
rope
sticks
back
and
here.
moves.
Right? He's got that youth. Got that.
He does. Yeah, Badger doesn't fuck around.
I'll go up with the old dog. Come on, man. Old dog. He doesn't get dog.
He's got the experience. Lewis the corgi just choking him out from
old man strength.
When did that fucking dog learn jujitsu?
Oh, Jesus. Anyways.
All right, off track again. Sorry.
Back. Damn it, Justin. Back to the topic at hand here, Jesse. What car do you like, and are you going to stick with it in any of your leagues?
I mean, I'm wearing a Corvette shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I like it.
Tell me, if you're wearing a pair of New Balances right now, I will
not
throw this TV on.
I got some white Pumas.
Hey,
Ooh.
there we go.
Are
there
they
we
the
go.
drift cats?
I believe they are. Hang on.
Oh no.
Oh, that's. I tried to get man. God, fuck yeah! I tried to get a pair of those, but as you know, I'm a chronically like oversized person, and like I tried. They didn't make them up to a size 15. A 14 is as big as they go, so I got it, and it wouldn't fit. And
I'm
It's
super
upsetting.
lucky. I live
Upsetting.
right behind the outlet mall, and like
Mm.
literally, Puma's at the end by my house. I can get there in like 3 minutes. Like my door to like in the Puma store. So I can just walk in. I walk in there from time to time. They clear those for like $20. I also got a pair of those new Simhound shoes. I'll try
The
these
what?
out too. It's kind of like a water stock, but it has like a sole of like a driving shoe. Here, I got
Okay.
it.
Oh, are those? So
I'm
these are
always-
both.
Mm.
These are both
Lets
your
you get that
driving
pedal
shoes you're
feel.
talking about here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a water sock on the top. It's got a little elastic strap. They're actually comfortable to walk around in,
Yeah.
but it's got a rolled heel
Nice.
and they're flexible.
Yeah,
They
that was
grip.
like
So
a
I
good-
just got them
Good
like
driving shoe.
a day or two ago. So I'm gonna give them a shot here.
All right. Anyways, back to the
back
Corvette.
to obviously Corvette.
Sure. Yeah.
Obviously.
Good call.
Talk about New Balances here.
Yeah.
More important thing.
Well, I
My
mean,
jorts on too, right? I got my jorts.
we got old guys driving Corvettes, and
I obviously previous episode, had a Corvette for a little while, but I also had lots of BMWs. I got two BMWs too, so like I kind of jump around on the GT side of things, but that's why I like it. But I'm gonna drive the Corvette for this season. Like when the C8R came out, was driving that for kind of dedicated to that. So we got the 6 hours of Watkins Glen
yes.
next weekend. So that'll be a perfect time to get acquainted with the car. And then I'm probably gonna drive that for our next GT3 season too. Just spend the whole season with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin, what are your thoughts? Is it the Mustang? Yeah, I mean, if you would have won the races last night, you could have bought the Corvette. But instead, what you're doing is buying me the Mustang. So I'll have both cars.
Did you? By the way, did you get your payment today?
Where did it come through? Did it come through on iRacing? Because I haven't opened it yet. Oh, great! I can't wait to open that one up.
You got a special message with it, but I did send you the money
Special
for
delivery.
the Mustang.
Good.
Because you beat me straight up. I pushed it too hard in the final bout. What was it? We were doing best of 3, and it was one apiece. And then the final race, yeah, I blew it. Fucking wrecked her out.
So then we went best of 5, and you wrecked it again. And then we went best of 7, and you wrecked it again, and that we called it.
That's what I'm telling you. That was the point that I changed. Like you noticed me getting faster, but then I changed my graphic settings.
Yeah, sure.
And
sure.
that is what ultimately destroyed me. Not my skill, not the car, the graphic settings.
So the thing is, I don't think either one of us have both vehicles in the podcast right now. But what
I do. I've tested them both.
Oh,
back to back.
You do have,
and
the
I still
Corvette
like to the
already.
Mustang.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what is your thought on the Mustang compared to the Corvette? That Corvette, man, through that bus stop, dude, I pulled 0.5 of a second, but you pulled it all back. I mean, that thing digs.
It's just a
out of
straight
corners.
line monster. And it's a straight line monster. It can eat curbs like no one's fucking business. Like you can just jump anything in the Mustang, but it is fucking slow in the low speed stuff. Like, cause it's so heavy and you have to be very careful on your tire management. Like if you let it get into that traction control, it's going to fuck you on the low speed stuff. You really have to just let it sit, get the rotation early and get it out because it feels every bit as heavy as the M4, but handles more like the Mercedes. It's like, it feels like a hybrid almost between those two cars.
So I did notice though, the tire model they have updated again. I don't know why iRacing doesn't just stop. Just iRacing. If there's one thing,
it's getting better though. No, it's like you see where we were at even 2 years ago, like slipping and sliding everywhere. It's getting better.
I guess.
I like they can change it as long as it's a net positive on our way through this expensive journey.
Yeah, so there is actually a new feature in iRacing now as well, where you can go to the UI and it tells you everything you've bought, and it gives you like the grand total of the amount of money you spent
No,
No,
never do the math.
Is that true?
It's an actual thing.
Don't do that.
I
Don't do that.
don't do it.
I'm gonna go look at it right now.
Don't
Where is
do
it?
it,
Don't do
J-Hall.
it.
Where is it? I'm
So-
too curious now.
You got to go to your profile, and it should be under your profile underneath the helmet. But
And it
Does
will
it
just give
does
you
it-
an entire summary,
yes,
and that doesn't include subscription.
no,
correct?
it includes
This is just.
subscriptions. It includes
Oh my.
everything.
Oh, this is about to be sad.
Yeah. But anyways,
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I
I
don't want to do it, Adam. Why you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
If it,
But back to the tire model
would you
here.
put that on me?
I did even
Okay,
notice.
where did you say it was? One last time.
Apologies to the people that are going to be listening to this that aren't on the live stream right now. But now I've got to pull up iRacing as well. So hopefully it doesn't pull up on the screen that I'm actually. Nope, we're good. Click on the helmet there, J-Hall. And you should be able to see. Go to account.
Yep.
Where is it? Account history.
Count
There
history.
you go.
Yep.
And then go to well, however much, and it should. Oh, I can't find it. But yeah, it should give you somewhere in there. It should give you like how much you've spent in this game, and it is
Well, I see it like itemized one
it
by
is
one.
itemized, but there's like a
But
whole,
there's like I have hundreds of transactions.
yeah, but there's a whole thing in here that you can find eventually. We'll talk about it after the broadcast. But anyways,
I was so ready to be depressed right now.
we'll
Like
do it at the
I was ready to see that number. That was like.
We'll do
All
it
right,
on the
can you
break.
leave?
How's that sound? But anyways, tire models. Back to tire models. God damn it, Justin. Stop it. I noticed even in that Corvette, dude, 3 to 5 laps, it was the tires, they almost seemed to started to grain a little bit. Like, and I was pushing hard because we were running sprint.
The heat.
But
Yeah,
then-
it's not the wear, it's the heat.
That's the model too, though. They're going to have a warm up. They're going to have a lap or two, depending on the length of the lap and the time of the lap. Warm up, and then they're going to give you, again, spend a lap 2 to 3 laps of just grip,
Mm-hmm.
ungodly grip, and then they are going to fall off. And if you take care of them, they'll just plateau. If you mistreat them, they're gonna fall. They're gonna just keep falling off.
Sure.
So it's a really tricky model. I'm not sure that I entirely agree with it, but it does kind of make things interesting. Those who do take care of their tires over the course of a stint versus those who just come out guns a-blazing at the end of the stint and
Right.
the car's a handful, and then you're either pitting early, especially if we're talking about endurance races, but or you're losing time because the car's a handful.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said though, when I got past that like 8-lap, 9-lap stage when we were able to run longer runs without getting run over by GTPs, the tires, they seemed to come back. They really did, and I don't know if that was just due to the fuel coming off or if it was the actual tires coming back to us.
No, it's fuel comes off, and all of a sudden you'll probably feel like around like 20, 30 liters
Mm-hmm.
left in the car, or in freedom units, like 5 gallons.
Yeah, sure.
It could be a combination of factors too.
Go
Because
to the vet. I gotta convert back to freedom units.
I feel like
but-
that's us on grid every single time.
Right. Every single
How many
lap. How much
liters? What
fuel?
the fuck is a kilometer?
Yeah, come on, we're not in fucking
Every
England right
single
now. Stop
grid.
it.
Every single grid. Jake, how much fuel? I don't know. I don't speak freedom units.
Yeah.
But no, they kind of do that. But I mean, it's been the same tire model for a little while. It's kind of evolving rather than sort of a, rip the Band-Aid off and make sort of a big change. Kind of like Justin said, I kind of like just keep evolving it. I don't mind the tire model so bad now. I mean, if you go back years, we had tires that I remember at Daytona, we were like quad fitting tires.
Oh God, they were
In
made
the
out of
night.
concrete, dude. I mean, you could
Yeah.
run those
They're
things
like
forever.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
If it was at night, they were pretty much like they would almost recover. They were like,
Yeah.
you would go back into the pits with more tire than you left
You
with.
just didn't,
Yeah.
you just didn't
You
change
collect
tires
marbles.
in the dark. was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And then we had the aero cars. That was fun. I called them the Super GT3s for that season. I don't know what the heck they were thinking there, but the ship's pointed in the right direction. It's going the right direction in regards to the GT3 cars. And there's other stuff that's in this content update they're bringing too, right? You get the 2 new street stocks. So if you're a round person, I know they're lower level, but I don't know, lower level's kind of exciting. I haven't done oval in a long time, but I kind of want to just buy them and go back and doing it. I need to get a round wheel again. I don't have a round wheel, so it's kind of like.
Boy, do I have a league for you, Jesse Olson. Let
It only
me
hit the one league.
shameless plug here. Cross Series League Racing to any listeners run Sunday nights on iRacing at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We run all 4 series of races. Our first 2 series, Jesse, for the first 8 races is going to be in the street stock. 4 asphalt ovals and 4 asphalt roads. So if that's something you want to do, Jesse, there you go.
What tracks are the roads on?
Watkins Glen, Spa, Nürburgring combined. Gonna be fun.
Ooh,
Yeah.
You're running fucking Nürburgring combined and street.
Nice.
That's
Guys, I did the math. I did a couple laps. So we run about a 45 to 50 minute race. It's going to be 4 laps at the most. 4 laps at the most. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. But, yeah, so we're going to do Spa, Watkins Glen, Nürburgring combined, and the one in California, Laguna Seca.
ooh, I do like Laguna Seca.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good season. And now, of course, they've come out with the new street stock, so I've got to add those 2. But, yeah. Anyways, I'm done with my shameless plug. Sorry, Jesse. Back to what you were doing.
I was shamelessly plugging iRacing's update.
Yes,
But we
yes.
were talking about tire model. That's where we were. But no, I mean, I'm good with it. I mean, I don't drive a real life GT3 car. I couldn't tell you how accurate it is, how inaccurate it is, or whatnot. It seems like a good idea. It seems like people are decently happy about it. Like I said, now we have 2 brand new GT3 cars to play with. That's really fun. There's some oval stuff. There's a couple new tracks that came out, which is a nice content update. You know, me personally, I'll be playing with the Corvette, running our league race with Jay Hall down there. So
Yep.
we're gonna get kicked off here in a couple weeks. That should be a lot of fun this season. Which are you gonna stay with the Stang, Jay Hall?
I think so.
Oh,
I think I just. I mean, the hardest conversion is like, I know I've now developed speed in the Porsche, and balancing the engine that far behind you, converting
An
to
art.
doing the Mustang is polar opposite. And it's like an entirely different approach to trail braking. Everything is different in this Mustang, but
You know
I
what you
don't
could
know.
do is
I think I'm going to try and stick with it just for the sound. I'll give, when I race them both, the Mustang far superior engine note while you're racing to the Corvette.
yeah,
Absolutely.
But
especially
the idle
Absolutely.
of the Corvette is better. It
Yeah.
has this, it's got the chop. It's got that lope to it. And it's nice sitting in the pits, but as soon as you leave, it's back to that.
flat plane
It's
crank.
like they
Eric
went-
Leitsky.
But it's like they
Buzzy.
went too far in that direction almost. That
Yeah.
it's like
It's a little raspy, a little buzzy.
it just doesn't have like the
It sounds
Mustang
good,
just has
like,
the throatiness to it.
like in the car. It doesn't sound like. Go to the replay and listen to that car outside of the car.
Yeah. Yep.
Sounds real nice on replay. But I mean, you got to live inside the car. But I don't mind it. I mean, I think I'm just happy to have something sort of new to play with. The last new car we got was the Audi Redo, I call it.
I guess it was like half of a new car. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the Audi Evo, but I think there's already an Evo, so we're like on Evo 2 or 3. I don't know. The R8's been around forever, and I'm like, I've already had an R8. With the R8 experience, I'm not. I kind of skipped on the R8, for that that I was driving the 992 before that, and like I said, like once you kind of get in Porsche groove too, man. Like the thing about the Porsches is they just work everywhere. You're never.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're never at a disadvantage. And we like I said for Sebring, we ran it. Obviously that was the first weather endurance race. Like I said before, we won. Just because it's the god of the wet, in iRacing. So it's like, how can you just kind of walk
don't know.
away from the 911? It's so good.
I think that Corvette's going to give that Porsche a bit of a run for its money. I really do. That mid-engine is that thing between driving the Porsche and driving the Corvette has the handling. It's a little more understeery than the Porsche is, which is understandable. You could understand why, but it is still very, very good. And I think a lot of people are going to go to that Corvette instead of that Porsche. They're going to find a lot of success in that thing. And I think that Porsche may be on the outs when it comes to vehicles. People are still going to drive it, but man, compared to that Corvette, guys, if you do iRacing and you haven't driven either one of these new cars, you got to give one of them a try. And I suggest the Corvette. If you're new to GT3 racing,
the Mustang. I would say the Mustang's a great experience.
Yeah, but new to GT3 racing, that thing's a bit of a beast.
It is a handful. I also think once some of the setup shops get their hands on it,
it's gonna help a ton.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was a delicate beast where like trail braking had to be at 10% or below.
Yep.
Otherwise, it was just upsetting that balance way too much. Like it was a very fine line.
You know, like I'm not saying like the car's broken or anything, but you know, like
it's gonna get bopped. It's gonna get bopped.
Well,
I always like to think iRacing gives the new shit the spice too.
They do.
It's like, yeah, you want to be encouraged to buy this? We'll give it. It'll be it'll be
they want to sell their new toys,
meta.
Yeah, I mean, just watching,
and we're so far into it, we'll buy anything. Just give us the shit.
Yeah, dude.
Give us the shit. We'll
give it
buy
all.
I can't get out at this point. I can't.
Yeah.
Why would I leave?
I mean, you mentioned
we own nothing. It's just an imaginary thing.
No, we own lots of things. We own way too expensive sim rigs.
Oh yeah, we all own a bunch.
But
at
least that's like tangible. Like fucking iRacing is just like we own an idea of something that's on the server somewhere, and then we turn it off, and it's like, well, there's a few $1,000s gone.
Why the hell would we even own our rigs if it wasn't for iRacing? iRacing hasn't just fucked us for the stuff we bought from them. They also, for the computer that I'm podcasting on right now, and the wheel that's sitting in front of me, and the seat that I'm sitting in, and the triple screen sitting in front of me, this is all iRacing's fucking fault. Thank you, iRacing. Thank you. Anyways.
No, it's a lot of fun though. Wouldn't take it back. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I feel like it's good value. It's a lot of stuff, but it's good value. I feel like when I break down the amount of hours that I spend sim racing, like the amalgam between Assetto Corsa, iRacing, all this shit on track, thousands of hours. It's still decent value for the money.
Imagine
and you get real, like I'm legitimately a better driver in real life because of sim racing.
Don't even. Oh.
No.
Jesse, you're muted.
I think you muted yourself, Jesse.
Oh, still nothing, Jesse. There. Oh.
I wonder if the whole headset died. I saw a red light. I feel like that usually means low battery.
I think, Jesse, you've lost your battery, buddy. Uh-oh.
We were just talking about that before the podcast, too. I'm like, man, I need a wireless headset.
Right?
How long do the batteries last on those? It's got to last so long.
Yep.
And then it didn't go the whole podcast.
Well, it looks like we may have lost Jesse. We'll get him back on the other side of the break here. But, yeah, on the other side of the break, we're going to do our racing game.
I was just kidding.
Jesse's back.
I was just kidding.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you, Jesse.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, you said 100%. Back to your point.
I said 100% what?
You did. Talking about how iRacing has made you a better driver in real life.
I actually have a use case for this.
Okay.
The whole reason I got into sim racing, I told the story before, but was because I was up north and had nothing to do with cars for 5 to 6 months. So I was like, I got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up sim racing. So lo and behold, a couple of years later, it was like 2018, I think. In February was the start of the SCCA National Tour, and that's the year it started in Fort Myers. So me and my wife were up in New Hampshire. I'd just been sim driving all winter long. That's like the meat and potatoes of winter, right? So my buddy offers me a co-drive. at the tour in Fort Myers. I'm like, hey, cool, come down. I'll do the tour for 3 days with you. And then like, me and my wife, we went over to, it's like Sanibel, Captiva for a few days after that. Just kind of made it a long week vacation. But like, long story short, I was like, man, I haven't autocrossed in like, like our season ended like September, like early October up there. Just depending on the winter we got and how early it got there. And so I hadn't been autocrossing in months. I'd done an event, but I'd been sim racing. Just keeping sharp, keeping in touch with the car. And I came down there.
It's like muscle memory, man.
Yeah, and like not to
It's-
like brag on my friend who shall remain nameless in this situation. But like I came down, I flew in, I drove his car, I did the test and tune on Friday, and then we competed Saturday, Sunday in the national tour, and I not only beat him in his car, I won the class. And then ended up finishing like in the like 8th in the shootout or something like that. And like
nice.
otherwise I would have been sitting on my butt for 5 months not doing it. There's no way with 5 months of not just like wheel memory. That was the moment to me. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, all right. This is
Yeah,
actually
it's
kind
not
of
like 1-to-1. It's not 1-to-1,
No,
but there
definitely
is some
not.
value. There is like value to
there's
learning
something.
muscle memory, lines, fucking breaking points, just like engaging in it all. Yeah, there's definitely something to it.
And you
And
know
with how good the
autocross
hardware
is
is now.
nuts. So I mean, like it's not like road racing here. You set it up like autocross is bonkers. So
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, guys.
Yeah, like me and Eric used it for drifting. That was the biggest thing for us is like drifting is such an intimidating motorsport going into it because it's not something you can like autocross or even track days. You can kind of work your way up to it. You can start slow and be like, all right, I'm just
Yeah.
going to take my time through this, work my way up. Drifting, you have to be able to establish sending the car and doing a drift to fucking even get through the course.
right.
And that was the most amazing thing, was being able to do that.
that skill set is still not in my wheelhouse.
Nope, and
Props to you. Props to you for doing it.
It won't
But
ever
you
be.
build it on the sim. Like, man, that's what we did. And it was off break, able to do it. Like,
J Hall, I've got one question for you before we go to the break.
Mhm.
If you could estimate the cost of rear tires you go through while learning how to drift, how much do you think you spend a year on tires drifting?
that's like there's so many variables to that. I would say it's like probably better to break it down like per event, maybe. Because yeah, like per year is like there's a huge amount of variables to that. Like, and then that's why sometimes the best thing to do is to learn to drift on a car that doesn't have a ton of power.
Right.
Because like that's like maximizing your money. I feel like get a car, rear wheel drive, limited slipper welded diff, 300-ish horse, and that's all you need.
Did you just say
And-
limited slip or welded diff?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for drifting.
Weld-
If you're just gonna drift it, yeah, weld it.
Oh,
Mhm.
Jesus. Okay.
You don't want to do anything else with it, but you don't drift.
It
like
has to be
Yeah.
a drift car because yeah, that's all it's going to be. But yeah, a welded diff car is fine. Like it's preferable for drifting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Why don't you just get a posi track then at that point?
Because of the expense and you can just open the diff and fucking blob it
And-
up and fucking
and
weld
it
it for
drifts better.
nothing.
That
Yeah,
sounds
and
like
it
a
drifts better.
terrible
And it doesn't
idea.
break. Typically doesn't break.
Yeah. Depends on how good of a welder you are.
Exactly.
But
You don't even have to be good to weld a diff. You
That-
just put enough shit in there
Well,
that it
that's
doesn't spin. Yeah.
It's a good point.
The rock in the back.
Yeah.
Why does this thing feel terrible at 20 miles an hour? The back end's just popping along like
Well, yeah, that's like you try and parallel park it or something and just like
Yeah.
the inside tire is just fucking chirping.
If you've ever seen like a drift car take like a low speed tight corner like street driving and you just hear the back end chatter as it goes
Mm.
through.
All right. Anyways, guys, on the other side of the break, I saw something on Facebook today. The F1 game. I know none of us play it, but we were talking about handling earlier and stuff like that, and tire models and all this stuff that iRacing is doing. So, I don't want to bring that up on the other side of the break, and then we're going into our game. We haven't talked about Dale at all, other than the fact that I'm drinking my Budweisers. But our game is going to be from Dale Earnhardt. So just nothing but Dale Earnhardt trivia questions here. We got 5 questions for you guys, but we will get to that after the break. We will see you guys on the other side.
drop nothing on me.
All right, guys, we are back for the final segment here of the podcast, and yeah, we left the break talking about handling in racing games, and the reason I said racing games is because F1 2024 just came out for console users and PC users.
What
if you
game?
want F1 2024. It's like the
What's that?
F1 2024 just came out for console users and PC users, and it's like it's one of those things where I used to play it all the time before I got iRacing, before I got my PC, and I had a racing wheel for it and everything, and it was fun. And then I got iRacing, and I realized that that's how cars are supposed to handle, even way back when, and I say way back when in 2020 when I bought iRacing, but
You
like
dinosaur.
right, I know. But this year for F1 2024 seems to have Eric. Okay. I will co-op F1 24 with you, my friend. You and I will do a co-op in F1 24. I cannot believe, unless you're also
Yes.
being facetious and being an asshole right now, Eric, I will definitely co-op F1 24 with you. But back to that. People have started returning F1 24 because they've changed the handling big time in this one. So they made it more difficult. They made the handling harder. And then they changed it back. Basically, a bunch of people started complaining, and Codemasters, or EA, changed the handling back to
EA.
basically F1 23. And it has now become just a massive talking point in the gaming community for racing game enthusiasts. People are returning the game because they're like, oh yeah, the streamers are bitching, so now EA is catering to the needs of the few, not listening to everybody, and like this massive argument has been going on Facebook. What are your thoughts, Jesse, on handling? Because we just talked about it. Like, I know iRacing doesn't care what we think about, the handling physics. They're going to go and do what they do. They want to make it more true to real life. But when it comes to games like that, people want a challenge, and it sounds like they had a challenge and they went back. And yeah, what Eric's saying in the chat, F1 23 was too easy, and they've gone back to that handling model. And I also have F1 23, and it was basically just full throttle turn the wheel. And I know it's a game, but it's still too arcadey for the only F1 game that's out.
I mean, I have no experience either title. Games for the masses are games for the masses.
Mhm.
To me, that's not surprising, right? Like, I played a lot of those games for a long time. I grew up on my first racing game was a Rad Racer on an NES. Like,
Yep.
come on, talk about tire models, handling, like 8 dots. It was terrible.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
like, if that's your thing and you're a consoleist, and there's a lot of them, probably way more than there are sim racers who are, in the category of what we do. We are a niche within a niche within another niche.
mm-hmm.
Where we live. So who am I to really say like what's right? At the end of
Sure.
the day, though, like gaming, I mean, in general, and I don't want to maybe kick us down this rabbit hole, but maybe just take a jump over it. Like gaming has gotten greedy, corporate. It's gotten phony. There's there's just example on example on example of games that just are bad at launch that never
Yep.
recoup. Egregious microtransaction, like almost anti-consumer friendly. Like obviously the loot box thing years ago, like this all wraps up into this world of like we're over this little iRacing world, and there's this entire ecosystem of gaming
Mm-hmm.
beyond sim racing, beyond racing games, beyond PC, beyond. It's huge. It's huge. So to me, like they're gonna do what makes sense for them to sell their game and to get better reviews. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. I'm probably never going to buy the title, unless all of a sudden they take a leap into the sim direction. And even so, I don't really Like there's F1 cars in iRacing, and I don't touch them.
Oh, hell no.
So-
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say, Justin, before we get to your point. Sorry, Jesse, I'm cutting you off. But all these people bitching on Facebook, I am a little bit triggered. Just stop. All of you guys pissed off that the handling is now easier because it was more challenging and you liked it. Go run the freaking Mercedes F1 car in iRacing and tell me how hard it is actually to drive these cars. I mean, it is almost impossible for mere humans like us to drive those cars even in a sim, let alone in real life. Like, it's insane the amount of torque and power and downforce and loss of downforce and just those the F1 cars in at least a sim are nuts. So shut up, keep driving your racing game. That's what I'm gonna say. J Hall,
Shut up. Keep driving it.
there you
Something
go.
like that. There was some brand angle there that I think we missed, but
I think we'll hit it at
it
the
is
end.
what it is.
I think we'll have it figured out by the end of this podcast. I think we got this.
But yeah. I think getting him in iRacing showed people they require so much more nuance to drive than anybody really thought. I think they just thought they were kind of just glued to the road, but the amount that you have to feather on that throttle because of the power that those have is absolutely insane. It's something I didn't expect looking at F1 cars. But
I mean,
what was even your question? I don't remember.
we were just talking about handling physics and racing games and how people who are driving F124 are extremely upset because they changed the streamers. From what it sounds like, a bunch of streamers were complaining about the handling of the new game, so they basically reverted F124 back to F123. And let's be honest, for 6
The
years,
old games have the best sometimes. Like, do you remember? I think the best handling physics of any game any sim, I guess, pure sim that I ever played was probably Need for Speed Most Wanted 2.
Are you kidding me right now? You're kidding. Okay. I was going to say, I don't know if I can remove you from
It's
this
good.
podcast, but I really wanted to.
But it was
That's
the peak in quality though.
Is that a box you want to open though? I mean, who's got the most accurate? Who's got the best handling model? Like,
Yeah,
don't wanna
I know.
Go down that. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And that's when it comes to like the games, right? I mean, it reminds me of Call of Duty back when I was when I was a high schooler, dude, like early college. I'd drink underage beers in my dorm and I'd sit there and I'd play Call of Duty with all my buddies and be super mad that this game is different from the last one. And they've messed everything up. And like, it's the same stuff, I think, what we're talking about right now. And games are always going to be games. And it's what I'm trying to tell people. I know there's only 3 people listening right now, but like what I'm trying to tell people is if you want something better than a game, if you really want those real physics, that real physics feel, you're going to have to fork out some cash. You're going to have to buy yourself a PC. You got to buy yourself a $200 Logitech wheel with force feedback. Yep. And then get yourself iRacing. And that if you really want a real challenge, that's what you got to do. And it's crazy to me to see all these people that think this is the pot calling the kettle black, but think they're actual racing drivers and sitting there bitching about the handling in an F1 2024 game. It's crazy.
It's a console game. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you got to take it for what it is. But we all I started with consoles. We went down the turning in the path. Like, if it wasn't for fucking Gran Turismo 1, where would I be in my landscape of wanting to
Exactly.
get down this crazy rabbit hole and how I ended up in sim racing and in a community and making friends with the likes of you. So like,
right.
Hey, you know what? If it takes F123 or F124 to get somebody into a racing genre, to get somebody into that, and then they start progressively taking the next steps to eventually come down to the crazy messed up world that we live in, like, so be it, man.
Right.
I like that that's how you address it too.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Yeah. Just making us all sound like degenerates right now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse.
I mean, Listen, I can sell you either way on sim racing.
Mm-hmm. True. All right, guys. I think we're wrapping up tonight. We've done good tonight. It's because Eric's hasn't been here. Eric, I know you're watching. This is we
in
found
spirit
out.
and in chat. He
Yes.
has been here.
Yes, we've
Just
we've-
feel it. Just you
hang
can
on.
feel him.
Moment of
I thought I
silence
saw
here.
something out your window there, Jay. Was that Eric?
I saw a bearded bald man.
But no, back to what we were
No, we
doing.
can feel it. We can feel him here.
We are blaming Eric Lightsky for the reason we've run over it for the past 2 episodes.
course.
But we are on, guys. What episode are we on? We're on episode 3. Episode 3. Who else drives car number 3? Jay Hall.
Ooh. Who you doing it for?
We're doing it for Dale tonight, guys.
Dale.
So we're getting into our game here. There's obviously only 2 of you. I've got 5 questions. We're going to play higher or lower.
Oof.
Jesse, you
Higher or
won.
lower? All right.
You won the last round, or the last game, last weekend, or last week. Whatever we podcasted last. So, basically, what I do is I ask a person a question, and they guess that number. They guess a number. If they hit the number square on, that is an automatic 2 points for them. They get it wrong, the other person has a chance to steal. If that person steals and gets it right, they say higher or lower, they get a point. If they steal and they get it wrong, they lose a point. So, could get a bit interesting here. We got 5 questions. Jesse, what number would you like? Question 1 through 5. It's about Dale Earnhardt. He's going to take number 3 straight off the bat. Okay, Jesse. What year did Dale Earnhardt enter the Cup Series?
As his first race or as a full-time ride?
As a full enter. First race.
75.
Justin, you might be fucked here, buddy. Jesse is up 2 points already. He entered.
What? He hit that on the nose?
He hit it on the nose. Dale Earnhardt
Holy
entered in 1975. He dropped out of high school in 1967 to pursue
shit.
his career. So, yes, Dale Earnhardt entered in
All right.
1975.
Okay.
Jesse has
Okay.
2 points.
Okay.
Justin, good luck. What question would you like, my friend?
5.
Yeah, 5, sure.
All right. In Dale Earnhardt's career, how many pole positions did he get?
70. 6.
That is incorrect. Jesse, would you like to steal?
Feeling I'm going higher.
That is wrong.
Oh,
You said pole positions?
Pole positions. Dale Earnhardt had only got 22 pole positions,
He said
damn, really?
and he said 76. Yep.
He said 6.
76.
I said 76. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I thought he said
Oh, no.
That's why I was like higher. I'm like, he's way more than 6. Like, I raced for it.
I was going to say, when you said higher than 76, I was like, interesting.
I thought that because I thought that was
All right, wash me out on that one. I didn't get it. All right.
All right.
Just wash me out on that one.
all right.
All right, Jesse, you're still winning.
Misunderstanding.
You're still winning. Still winning with
Misunderstand.
points. So here we go. What question would you like, Jesse?
1.
Question number 1. Ooh. How many car numbers did Dale Earnhardt have during his career?
3.
Good guess. That's incorrect. Justin, higher or lower? Or if you want to steal, do you want to steal?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and steal. I feel like it's got to be higher than.
That is correct. And we're now tied.
Wasn't 3? What was the answer?
Car
What was the
numbers
answer? Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt had. He had 9 car numbers throughout his Winston Cup
What?
career. 9
Wild.
car numbers.
Yeah, I thought there had to be obscure stuff, but I didn't think it was
Yeah,
that much.
Maybe
Yep.
it's like some early entries.
I can look it up here at the end of the
No,
podcast.
no. We'll go. We'll roll. We're rolling.
Yeah, we're rolling. All right, Justin, 1-1. What question would you like?
I don't know what's left. 4.
Good job. How many races did Dale Earnhardt enter in his Winston Cup career?
How, like total races did he enter
Total
in his
races.
entire career?
Not finished, entered. Because we know he finished quite a few less than he entered because he is Dale Earnhardt.
500.
No. Jesse, would you like to steal?
Yeah, I don't know what. Like,
It is 1-1 right now. So if you steal this and get it wrong, Jesse.
I had 2 points.
Well, you did have to. It's 2-1, Jesse, so you can steal this.
I'm going to try. I'm going to say higher.
All right. It is now 3-1. He entered 676 races in his 26-year career. 676 races.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty insane. Jesse,
One
would you
F1
like
season now.
number 2 or number 2?
God, yeah. I'll go with number 2. That sounds
Take
terrible.
number 2. All right, Jesse, how many wins did Dale Earnhardt have in his Winston Cup career?
How many wins did he have? 76.
Are you looking at my screen? So you know
Dude, I
what's
have a-
funny?
I have a Dale Earnhardt collection, dude.
Dude, you know what's
You're
funny
right, the wrong
is
guy.
Jay Hall. When I asked how many pole positions Dale Earnhardt got,
He had the number.
you said 76, and
had the
I did. It
number.
was everything I could do to not say anything.
I'm going to go for a bonus point.
Okay,
You have 22 polls.
he had 22 poles. Yep. So Dale Earnhardt had 22 pole positions. Jay Hall, and he had 76 wins. You got wiped the fuck out tonight, Jay Hall.
yep.
Where Jesse did
Ain't
this
no
one for
denying it.
Dale.
Ain't no denying.
I'm
it.
not losing when it comes to Dale. I ain't losing.
5-1. It was the score this evening. So, guys, any closing thoughts here? It's been a shorter podcast. Eric Leitsky, still miss you, homie. Get back here soon. I know you're still watching, but any closing thoughts, Jesse?
Canada could be wet tomorrow.
Yep.
Interesting. There's also we didn't discuss it, but I'm just gonna shout out to Indy cars at Road America,
Mm-hmm.
which I know you're an Indianapolis guy, but Indy cars at Road America is like it for me. That is like peak IndyCar. So watch IndyCar, support IndyCar. It's awesome. Excited for the new content we discussed. We got 6 hours of Watkins Glen around the corner. We'll be running that. Me, Jay Hall, SUDI gang, gonna feel out these new cars and get them ready for the next iRacing League. So a lot of stuff right here this weekend. A lot of stuff around the corner.
Eric, you have to stop in the chat, homie.
What's he saying? I need to go to YouTube.
He goes, Adam, I'm glad we had our embarrassing moment together this morning. Just stop, Eric. Just stop. We did have an embarrassing
What'd you
moment
guys?
together.
What'd you
Who did
guys
the
do?
walk of shame?
I called him this morning, okay? Because I was driving to work. And before anything gets misconstrued in the YouTube chat, thinking that Eric and I are gay, which would be no problem. It's 2024. Guys, there is absolutely no problem if you're gay.
Yeah.
Absolutely not a problem at all. But I called Eric while I'm driving to work. And I live now in Nevada, in the mountains in Nevada, basically. And driving to work, get on the interstate. There is, guys, I swear to God, blood all over the road. I look to the right. There is a dead brown bear on the side of the highway. Dead brown bear. A brown bear. Somebody smoked in the middle of the night on the side of the highway. About the size of that dog right there, honestly. It was about the size of him.
Piggy, they're not talking about you. Don't listen to them.
That dog Dallas is the best, man.
God, that dog is huge.
Cool dude, man.
But yes, that was Eric's quote there to end the show is, I'm glad we had our embarrassing moment together this morning. I called him. Oh, yeah, and Eric said he hits gators. He said he has seen, you guys have seen dead alligators on the side of the road. That's one thing I haven't seen before, ever.
You're not
We got
allowed to
dead.
do
We
that
got
in
dead
Florida.
everything else. We got dead pythons on the side of the road.
Yeah, that's fair. By the way, in case the listeners or the viewers are watching, we are on totally opposite sides of the country. They're in Florida, and I'm in Nevada. So about as far away from each other as you can get.
Probably equally wild states.
Honestly,
like when you
yes.
think about states with just some wild shit that goes on, Florida,
Florida man is a thing, dude.
and like the whole Vegas vibe, like there's a lot that goes on, and
Nevada's such a weird state, though, Justin, because
it is.
You've got Vegas, right?
There's
Eric,
tears to it.
and he said, but our hearts are so close, as well. But like Nevada's such a weird state because you've got Vegas, right, in south, and then about north of Vegas, it's the Wild West out here, guys. Like it's nothing but guns. Well, I probably just got banned from YouTube, but like guns and just
brought to you by
hunting and fishing and rootin' tootin', good old time line dancing stuff out
and
here.
tootin'.
It's the Wild West out here, dude. It's the Wild West. But anyways, J Hall, back to our original story. I said closing statements at minute 17. We're now on minute 21. Anything you got to say? Oh, Ryan Blaney, I didn't see this. Well, I'm sure Blaney is very honored to be in the presence of the podcast dedicated to Dale Earnhardt tonight.
Oh, yeah, brother.
You know what's
he's a champ.
You know what's crazy to me? Jesse, we've just spent the last hour and a half talking about how you're a Chevy guy and you support someone who drives a Ford.
Man, listen, it was a journey. I grew up an Earnhardt fan, and then like most Earnhardt fans, we just rolled right into Junior,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Who also drove a Chevy.
Right. He drove
Yeah.
Chevys and he drove for Hendricks, and then his dad, DEI and whatnot. So when Junior hung it up, I had to pick a driver. Ryan was coming up. We weren't quite sure where Ryan was going yet. It was still by Wood Brothers 21 car, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, he can end up anywhere. He ended up, but like Ryan was the guy up. I feel like like it's funny because me and my wife were kind of like we were both Junior fans too. So when we met, so we were like, who are we gonna take for this next driver? Who do you like? Who do you like? And we both actually liked Ryan, so we kind of got on the Ryan bandwagon, and then ended up at Penske. So that's like how I ended up a Ford fan, or Penske or Ryan Blaney fan,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. But I'm there for Ryan, right?
You heard it here, by the way, Justin. You heard that, right? You heard that. He's a Ford fan. He literally said he's a Ford fan.
I confess.
Okay.
There's a Ford in my driveway.
Oh, God. Why? I mean, that shirt is probably burning at the bottom, isn't it? We just can't see it in the podcast. It's just burning up right now.
And do a New Balance symbol.
But anyways, before
it's like a pentagram of fucking dad.
Anyway.
Before you give your closing thoughts, I've been a Jeff Gordon fan from the time NASCAR was my first love. I would wake up I wouldn't wake up. I'd watch the races every Sunday because I was in Indiana, so the races didn't start till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, like you guys. So
now they start at 4 o'clock.
Or 4, yeah. But so I'd watch the races. Jeff Gordon all the way. Shut up. We're on YouTube. But I loved his rainbow car. Okay, I loved the colors of it.
Yeah,
Rainbow Warriors.
baby.
Rainbow Warriors all the way. So, I mean, I just became a Richard Hendrick fan from then on. I was a Chevy fan. And honestly, Jeff Gordon is the reason I've got 2 Chevys, used to be 3, parked in my driveway right now. So, you're a poser for going and driving Fords, wearing a Chevy shirt.
Damn.
There is something wrong with you, Jesse. I'm telling you.
BMWs in the driveway too. I mean.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I don't have any Beamers. Okay, now you're just showing off. But with that being said, I was driving to work, or not driving. My mom was driving me to school. I had just watched the Daytona 500. Okay?
This was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
For context.
Fuck off, Justin. I was driving to school, and we forgot something. I think I forgot like one of my books or something. So we turned around, went back to the house. I get back in the car. My mom's crying. And I was like, "What happened?" He goes, "Remember the race we watched yesterday?" Like, yeah. Because you saw Dale Earnhardt crashed. I was like, yeah, I saw it. Like, didn't think anything of it. She goes, in the new, like, our local radio station reported that Dale Earnhardt had died from that wreck in Daytona. Like, it's just, it was such a polarizing moment for me. And like all the stuff we're doing tonight, I'm drinking.
I remember where it was, when it happened. I knew when the crash happened that it was really bad.
Right.
And then once I saw the scenario with the medical car, stuff like that, like, like, probably life-threatening, probably not, a bleak outlook at best. And it rocked me, man, like, because Dale was my driver.
Right.
And we all wanted to see him get number 8. Almost like
everybody wants to see somebody get number 8, man.
Number 8. No, like the number in racing, isn't it? Like Schumi, Hamilton, 7.
Yeah.
NASCAR's got Petty, Earnhardt, and Johnson. 7.
Yep.
And nobody in racing can clip number
like
7.
Cursed, like
it's not lucky, it's unlucky.
Yeah. It's wild to me. And you know what's even funnier is that was Dale Sr.'s son's number for the longest time, and nobody can get to it. But
how many championships does Dixon have? Dixon is
ooh, Scott. Ooh, that's a great question. I don't know.
I think he's got 6 or has he got 6? I need to look it up.
Yeah, he might. But anyways, closing thoughts, Justin, while Jesse looks up this. It's been a podcast episode number 3 for the new SUDI Slow Motion podcast, obviously honoring Dale Earnhardt tonight. Honoring Chevys because that's what Dale Earnhardt drove, and you are a traitor and drive Fords, and so is Jesse apparently. But what do you think? Are you excited about? New iRacing content, races coming up.
Yeah, man. Always excited about new content, new stuff to drive, new stuff to do, new physics models, new tires, new weather. It's all good. Everything is like it's what I appreciate the most about iRacing is they seem to calculate and analyze everything and release it once it's properly ready. We'll be pissed and fucking angsty because it's taking too long, but at least they do their due diligence to make sure it's decent when we get it. So if I have one thing to say, it's I'm just trying to, if they can see my part of the screen, I'm just caressing the cheeks of
Oh, I don't know if I should feel assaulted right now. Like, am I under?
No, it's
attack?
consensual. I feel like you consented to that. Like, I saw the look in your eyes.
Oh man, Eric, here in the chat again saying God bless, obviously for Dale Earnhardt, but Jesse,
God bless.
Scott Dixon wins, or Scott Dixon championship 6. So
almost there. And
he's close. He's going to get to 7. He's never going to win a single race again. We know what's going to happen. And Eric just said in the chat again, stop.
Here first.
Justin, stop. My pants can only get so
like
tight.
Ricardo Podium tomorrow.
Yeah, Ricardo Podium. He forgot that. Yeah.
He will podium.
Yep. And then Eric again in the chat said, stop. My pants can only get so tight while you're caressing my face there, Justin. So, but anyways, guys, we're gonna send this one out to Eric. Until next time, sometimes what do you got to do?
You got to shut up and drive.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.